I came out in the time of AIDS. I came out 85, 86, and that was what they refer to as the first wave of AIDS, and it killed lots of people. For many years, I was involved in the sex trade. I was in the thick of it, basically. And I used to think, standing on the street, there has to be more to life than this. I'm Connie Merasty. I'm originally from Opaskwayak Cree Nation, which is located about 600 kilometers north of Winnipeg. We are across the river from the town of the Paw, Manitoba. And it's a swampy Cree community. The language is Cree. I'm fluent actually in the language also, and that's where I'm from. My two-spirit life has started kind of there and then, evolved to where I am now, right? One of the struggles we have as two-spirit people, especially young two-spirit people, is that we have to leave home really, really fast because you're just actually running for your life, right? And that's how I felt when I left. So I left literally with the clothes I was wearing and came to the city. I had no education, no way to survive here, nothing. So all those things accumulated into a real bad life. When I came out into the gay scene, it was already there. It was already evident that it was there because people were having it. They were having the wasting disease. They were having a lot of, sicknesses and illnesses, and people were already in the hospital. From that time on, I've lost a lot of friends and a lot of acquaintances. And one of the things that's really, really sad and about this whole HIV/AIDS epidemic was, when you grow up, you have these friends for life, eh? And all my friends died in their 20s. So we're looking for peers, right? But our peers passed on. So when I talk about history, when I talk about my past, when I talk about, there's nobody to validate that for me, right? Because they're all gone. My friend, her name was Dion Sunshine. And what she always said to me, if I die, she said, do a pipe ceremony for me and pray that I'll go to a good place. And she always wanted me to smudge her, which I was new to do, but I said, yeah, I can smudge you, yeah. So we'd smudge and she'd take off and do her thing. Shania Twain's song, Man, I Feel Like a Woman? She'd go to work and she'd be selling her bond, and she changed the lyrics to Man, I Feel Like a Hooker. It was just like, you're so crazy, you're nuts. But she had that humor, right? Really, really dark humor, but it was funny. But at the end of her life, she began to get sick and was starting to experience the opportunistic infections, they call them, that people with HIV and AIDS get. And so she was getting hospitalized a lot. But of course she was still doing her thing, right, while she was in Saskatoon. And she got hospitalized there and she said, come and visit me. So I did. And of course, thank you, Winnipeg, it was a blizzard when we drove there. I said, oh my God, I can't believe this. Oh, I can't believe we're doing this. But we did. And we got there at 5 a.m. And we got to the hospital and I went and saw her. She's hooked up to 100 machines. Like I didn't even know where to put my hand because she had so many lines in her, right? But I managed to hold her hand. And then she said to me, I'm scared. And then when she said that, I said, I'm scared too. I said, because what I thought before that time was somebody will come and change this situation for us. Somebody's gonna come and save us, right? And that was when I realized, you're it. This is on you. This is your work now. what I learned in that instant was you have to take responsibility for your life, and you're responsible for other people too. And you've got to be the adult. You can't wait on people anymore to help you. This is it. This is your life right here, It was Sunday, and I was at my sister's, and Albert McLeod called me, and he said, Dion passed away this morning. I said, okay. We did that pipe ceremony for her. And you're always open to learning, always open to wanting to figure out, what's life about, what's going on, what's it all about. I decided at some point, I don't know, like a light went on. I didn't grow up to do sex work. I thought there had to be something else. And I decided at that point that I wanted to get educated. During this time too, also, I'm really exploring my spirituality and what that's about and what that means to me. And I'm meeting with elders and talking about ceremonies and stuff like that. And this elder that I met, her name was Mary. She was really gifted woman. And so I would go have coffee with her before I was going to university. I would have coffee with her in the morning, and then I'd take off, we would talk. 6 months later, probably, I'd say about 6 months later, I was sleeping. And I knew I had to get up for school, and I was sleeping. And it's kind of that moment, you're half awake and still asleep, kind of coming to. And somebody went over my head like this with their hand. And they whispered my name. They said, Connie. And I'm like, what the hell? And I woke up. What the hell was that? But I felt it. I felt somebody's hand go really softly over my head, my forehead. And then so I toddled off to my elders. I said, I had the weirdest experience this morning. Did I dream that, or did I feel that, or what? And I told her what happened, and she said, that's your friend, the one you helped. And I was really amazed, And so I believe in the work that we do. I believe that we're rewarded, in a good way. And I believe we're watched over. And I believe that good stuff comes from the good work that people do. And CAAN has always been there for the community. I can't exactly remember when I was first introduced to CAAN, but I remember that we had a conference in Winnipeg here in like 1990, 91. And it was a really big deal because it was the first national HIV/AIDS conference Aboriginal conference of its kind in Canada. That was the first time I was really introduced to that group of people. 98, 99, when I started working, legit jobs. I got a job with 9 Circles at the front desk. And basically they hired me to be a bouncer. So it was okay, I didn't care. But they wanted somebody that knew the clientele. From then on, I started getting work more and more along that same line, kind of in the helping field, the health field. We did a needle exchange, we did a condom distribution. One job I took care of special needs adults. And that was really something, that was a real eye-opener also. But I really enjoyed the work, and I really enjoyed the clients. One year I got a job being a receptionist for the elementary school on our reserve. How many kids do we have? 500? Under the age of 12. So it was really something, but it's really interesting, the circle that I've come around, that I'm doing the work that I always wanted to do, but we had no way to do it within, the confines of whatever organization we happened to be with. There was no specific 2S LGBTQ program anywhere in the North, anywhere, that catered specifically to that population. So the work I do now is advocating for all these young people. I'm the program manager with the Indian Residential School Program with the Cree Nation Tribal Health Center, and it's a 2S LGBTQIA plus program. I do sweat lodges, I do meet and greets, I do feeding workshops. Whatever the community requests of me, I can set it up, and I can let our 2S LGBTQ community come and join us. It's really come full circle working with the community, and I will still continue to work. because, people are young and they're up and coming and they're awesome. My God, these youth just amaze me. They're just amazing because when they speak, it's like I could never have spoke at the level that these people speak about their experiences, about their knowledge, about their education, about everything. I'm so grateful to have seen the evolution of the Two-Spirit movement and with CAAN and the work that they've done. And I'm so grateful for all the help that they've provided and all the guidance that they've provided over the years in different ways, lots of different ways, but especially around advocacy and letting it be known that, First Nations people do require assistance. They do require help. They do require guidance, The work of CAAN is just, it has that history. It has the ugliness and the darkness of HIV and AIDS. It has all of it there. And people that work with CAAN and people that have worked with CAAN carry that history. And it's an inspiring history. It's not all, doom and gloom. It's inspiring because people manage to raise their voices and be heard. They manage to advocate for their own health services across Canada. We became a real vital part of the AIDS, HIV movement in Canada. And that was always the plan with CAAN, was to help our people